Let me show you the dismal dealings of this bed. Last couple sips of coffee and then we'll go. Good morning, beautiful people. We are getting an early start this morning. We have some potatoes and some garlic that we got to dig. And honestly, the reason we haven't dug them so far is because it's been so blasted hot. So I'm gonna get all my helpers up and we're gonna get out here and we're gonna dig up the rest of our garlic and kind of the rest of our potatoes first thing this morning. So I think I'll go grab some shovels and pitchforks and whatever we need and my help, and we're gonna get started. Right squeeze. All right, we're gonna get out here to this potato bed and I'll talk a little bit more. All right, as you can see, the sun is gonna be on us in probably 15-20 minutes. So we're gonna try to get this done. It's supposed to be 95 today, which that's really hot for here. Usually we don't get that high. I can already tell you this is gonna be a hard job. We haven't had rain in several weeks, and I was out here the other day digging just one row of these potatoes because they were done a while ago. I just keep forgetting about it and I haven't come out here. As you can see, it's a nice field of weeds. This bed right here, honestly, we have kind of not had good luck with this bed of potatoes this year. These were actually planted in like March, something like that. Yeah, the end of February. Planted them really early, just trying it. We just wanted to see if they would do all right. Well, the ones we planted in the greenhouse, those are long harvested. And they did great with the protection of the greenhouse. These ones, on the other hand, they froze back all the way to the ground probably 3 or 4 times. And it has really hurt our yield out of this bed. There's a few plants that are still up, but for the most part, everything is down. When you're growing potatoes, you wait till your plants are down, the potatoes will cure underground. So the ones I've dug out of here, you can see the dug up row right here. They're all right, kind of small. Not very many of them. I'm hoping we can get at least 50 pounds of potatoes out of this bed right here, but I'm not sure. Luckily, the way we did this, we deep mulched this bed. Not that you can tell because the weeds have finally taken over. It'll be a chore finding the down plants so we can tell exactly where the rows are. So I'm gonna quit yakking, start digging. That's a pretty big plant right there. Okay, that's a decent sized potato. This is Dismal. So we have had a garden here for 2 years, or maybe it's 2 seasons. We've grown squash here, we've grown corn here. Yeah, it's been like 4 seasons we've grown here. Before we planted potatoes here, I had chickens on it. I think the chickens actually compacted it. I think I left them here too long because this is like rock solid. I mean, it doesn't help that we haven't had rain for a month, but yeah, it is rock solid. We had it deeply mulched, which I think is the only saving grace. But yeah, it's kind of shocking how hard this dirt has gotten. We've dug about 1.5 rows and we have about 2 more rows to go. If we get 10 pounds of potatoes, it will be a miracle. So we're just gonna keep on plugging. Honestly, I think what we'll end up doing is I'll just cover this in about 4 inches of compost and let the earthworms work their magic. All right, let me show you the dismal dealings of this bed. This right here is all we got. It might be 5 to 10 pounds. I dug the 2 rows of purple potatoes out of here, I don't know, 2 or 3 days ago. And yeah, I mean, it took me a while. It was just me and Buggy digging them first thing in the morning. It was this row. It's pretty rough. But we probably did, I don't know, maybe a half of a 5-gallon bucket worth of potatoes. This right here probably looks about the same. The Adirondack Blue have done real good for us, so we're gonna continue growing those. These, I wanna say these seed potatoes weren't that great anyways, but man, this dirt is so hard. I've been kind of holding out for some rain, maybe, you know, just get a little bit of rain, it'll soften the dirt a little bit, but no dice. So that's what we got. I'll show everything we got as far as potatoes go when we're done. I'm gonna put these on the golf cart. We're gonna go down here and dig the garlic. All right, that is it on the garlic. What's left here is onions and leeks. Those still have a ways to go. We're gonna take all this stuff to the barn and get it drying. There's gonna be some loss. We have never had pests for our garlic, like ever, in the entire time we've ever been growing garlic. Which, I mean, I think the first time I ever grew garlic was 15 years ago, something like that. I mean, garlic's a easy thing to grow. You have a clove that sprouted in your kitchen, take it out, stick it in the dirt. Voila, you got garlic. These ones, I noticed there's some like little worm things, like I think it's called a garlic beetle actually. We found these little bitty black beetles. I'm gonna go look them up when we're done. But yeah, we've got garlic pests, which is unfortunate. I think it's because of how heavily we mulched this and how wet it is over here. Usually I make bigger mounds to plant the garlic in. This time I didn't really make very big mounds, so maybe that's got something to do with it. They were just kind of down in the wet, which made for a unhealthful environment for the garlic. But anyways, that's it. We're gonna head off to the barn and get all this stuff laid out and get inside and make some breakfast. Here's what we currently got going on. This is the last garlic we picked. All here, and there's our onions. So I'm gonna set up another table. I got more tables right here. Gonna set up another table and just get it right here. In years past, I've set up, you know, a contraption with sawhorses and stuff like that. And I don't know, setting a fan blowing on the garlic on the tables seems to work just fine. So that's what we're gonna do. So I harvested our onions the other day and got them out here drying. Not the biggest harvest, but it kind of looks cool. Like it's a good variety. Got some good sized yellow onions, some good sized white onions. I tell you what, it smells really, really good down here. I should go get some like thyme and basil and oregano and bring it down here and dry it. It would smell like a restaurant in here. Whole grip of garlic. Got a fan over there that we've got blowing on it. I'll probably move the fan around. I need to get some box fans in here. I would like to make something that can hang. That way we really get some airflow. But all of this stuff that we harvested, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, something like that. This stuff is like nice and dry. It's hot and dry in here. Isn't ideal. I'd like it a little bit cooler, but getting the fan on it, everything dries good. And this is where we've dried our garlic for 3 years, 2 years, something like that. And you guys have seen, like, we've had it hanging in our kitchen all year. So obviously it's working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But yeah, this is 2024's allium haul. We've got a bunch of garlic and a few onions. There will be more onions as the season progresses, but this is what we got for our summer harvest. Pretty stoked. That's a lot of garlic. $13, $12. $12.7 of purple. All right, all the little ones go in there. Big ones this size go here. Doesn't matter, red, purple. Just do them by size. Big ones go over here. Little ones go over there. Yeah. All right, we've actually already eaten an entire box of potatoes. Pretty much all of our russets and a lot of our purples. But the total that we have harvested this year is 116 and a quarter pounds. What we got out of the bed that was outside was Dismal, whereas the greenhouse did double. Like, kind of amazing. Yeah. Sorry, Meg's over there feeding the baby. Yeah. So, we'll definitely be growing more in the greenhouse this coming winter. There's been a lot of experimentation this year. We did a few things differently. Kind of worked out and kind of didn't. One of the experiments was growing potatoes in the greenhouse. I would say that was a complete success. We did very well on potatoes in the greenhouse. I think just the greenhouse was like 24 pounds.
The greenhouse?
Yeah.
The greenhouse was 56 pounds.
Oh, 56 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Your Hugel mound was 24
It was the
pounds.
Hugel mound. The Hugel mound, we just took a lot of the, like, not very good potatoes. After we'd planted everything, we had the seed potatoes, you know, the ones that sprouted, that just looked really sad. And I just stuck them in the Hugel mound, and we got a huge yield. We actually probably got a better yield out of the Hugel mound than we got out of our crop garden bed that's out here in the yard.
Yeah, it was a very similar weight.
Yeah.
And considering the Hugel mound's like, what, 8 feet?
Yeah, the Hugel mound's like, I don't know, I would have to figure out the square footage. It's 8 feet long by maybe 5 feet wide.
Yeah.
One tiny little bed, and I just crammed everything in there and buried it. And it did really good. So, we will be looking into growing more stuff that way. We've been really happy with it. The bed out in the yard, the big bed that you just saw us dig, we planted too early. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Even though we mulched them really deeply back in February, whenever we did it, it just wasn't enough. The potatoes would grow up through the mulch. They'd get, I don't know, a foot tall, and then we'd have another freeze, and they'd die back to the ground. And then by the time they recovered, we'd have another freeze. And I think it just cost them too much energy, and we suffered in the harvest department. Now, I will say, we did an experiment. We did not hill potatoes this year. Last year, we got 200 pounds of potatoes out there in a crop garden bed. It was the bed, you know, just east of where we just harvested these potatoes. I hilled those last year, and we got a pretty big yield. This year, we didn't hill, I didn't till, I did as minimal of an input as possible, and I think it shows. So, we're still learning this, we're still figuring out exactly how we want to do it. I want to till as little as possible, but in some cases, like when you're doing potatoes, you are disturbing the earth. Even some of the no-till growers I've seen out there, there's not really a really good way to stop from disturbing the soil. I've seen guys, you know, plant it like the Ruth Stout method and stuff like that. I'll figure out a way that works for us. You guys figure out a way that works for you, but I think the point is just grow. and grow potatoes. They're the funnest, most rewarding crop. Like, it's like digging for gold every time. So happy that we got that done, and here pretty quick, hopefully if we get some rain soon, we need to get our fall potatoes in the ground. I'm looking forward to that. All right, some time has passed.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of time has passed. So we have inadvertently taken about 2 weeks off since harvesting those potatoes. And in fact, they sat in the buckets waiting to be weighed for about a week, and you saw me just weigh them. That was yesterday.
I believe so.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday. So yeah, it's been coming up on 2 weeks since we have hardly touched the camera. We've just been not filming.
Not filming.
We've kind of taken some time off. We've pondered things, thought about directions that we're headed, just kind of regrouping. Part of it is it's so blasted hot outside, I have a hard time being out in it. And so it is severely limited my outside projects, and I kind of get in a funk in the summertime when I can't, like, I can be out until like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, and then I don't know, 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, I can go back out and be out there till 9 or 10 o'clock again.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of frustrating. I very much like being outdoors. I like having my hands in the dirt.
Yes.
And when it's so hot that I melt.
Literally.
Yeah. So.
That's been part of it.
That's been part of it. The other part of it is we just had a baby. And
we're enjoying all of the snuggles.
This baby, Elizabeth, has been the easiest baby we've ever had. And she likes to snuggle. And
Yes.
so we've really been enjoying it. The last one was not a snuggly baby. She was very colicky, and it was a hard first 6 months. This one is the polar opposite. This is the easiest baby, and honestly, we could probably just, put her in her bed and,
stash her in a corner.
Stash her in a corner, and she'd be fine. But we don't want that.
Yeah.
So we've been enjoying the baby time, the snuggle time.
Taking it while we got it.
All 4 of the boys, when we had them, I was working so much. I think with Corbin, I was off for 3 days, and then I went back to working 80-hour work weeks, and it was like I blinked, and all of a sudden he was 6.
Yeah.
So, not going to do that again if I can help it. All that to say, that's the explanation for where we have been. I see that you got some onions and squash going on.
I do. These are our onions and our squash.
I feel like we say that a lot. People are probably tired of hearing us talk about, oh yeah, this is all ours on our plate.
Okay, but why am I doing all this work if it's not going to be all ours on our plate? This is why we're doing this. This is so we can eat our food.
Hey, it's raining.
Is it finally raining?
It is finally raining.
Hallelujah, thank you, Lord. Oh my gosh.
It's misty, not raining.
I will take mist too. There's moisture coming from the sky.
There is moisture coming down. We are ecstatic. We've been in a drought. In fact, North Carolina is actually in a drought.
Like statewide.
Statewide drought. It's been miserable hot. We've had 0 rain. We are now into July, and usually July is our wettest month of the year, oddly enough. And
the weekend, and it's been like, what, 1?
We got 1 rain. We will take any rain we can get. We need it. The garden is doing dismal this year.
Terrible.
Now, I will address this. I will touch on this. Okay. We said at the beginning of the year, because we were having a baby, we weren't going to worry about the garden. And then we kind of worried about the garden.
We did, yeah.
We planted a garden. We did some gardening stuff.
Spring fever hit, and it was like, I got to plant everything.
So we did do some gardening. Everything was looking real good, and then June hit, and the drought really got bad. We're going to have to, if we want any green beans, we're going to have to plant more green beans.
Yeah.
We probably should have already planted green beans. I will do a garden update probably sometime this week, and I'll show you guys where we're at with the garden. It has been a frustration of ours.
Yeah. So, when you can say, hey, this is ours from our garden, it's very exciting.
This is one of the 5 squash we will get off the plants before the plants just roast to death.
I will take it.
I guess I'll get over here and I'll show you guys what else we got going with dinner. Here is a brisket. This is, oddly enough,
our brisket.
Yep, it's a biscuit brisket.
It's a biscuit brisket. This is our steer we butchered.
Give me 6 more seconds. I'll show you what else.
The timer's going off. All right.
And then, yep.
My arm, it's wet.
Your arm is wet.
Your arm is wet from the rain.
Okay.
All right, so these are also our potatoes.
Aren't they beautiful?
They are beautiful. I mean, look at that. Purple, yellow, red,
They're so
like
pretty.
all the colors.
Yeah.
So these are, if they're not too hot,
They're hot, baby.
these are the little itty bitty potatoes. We usually get a fair bit of these when we're growing potatoes. We try to eat them, but they go bad the fastest. Like, they don't even go bad. They just shrivel up.
They dry out, yeah.
They dry out.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a race to see if we can eat them before they're not edible anymore. Well, this year, I would say we've seriously put a dent in them.
Yeah.
We are chewing our way through the little itty bitty potatoes and enjoying every minute of it. I will get this cut up here in a minute. I have actually been doing, I think it's called, it's kind of like the Texas cheat method. You smoke it and then you wrap it up and then you just let it cook all wrapped up in, you know, parchment paper and aluminum foil. Cook it for a few hours until it's like nearing completion. Then you unwrap it, put it in a hot, you know, smoker, oven, whatever you got, and you kind of caramelize the outside and get a little bit of a bark. I used to love smoking all meats. Pork butt, ribs, brisket, you name it. Like, I used to do all of it. And something happened to where I cannot stand the smoke. If I am around the smoke for too long, it just makes me so nauseous I can't even eat the meal. About a month ago was Brett's birthday, and he wanted ribs for his birthday. It was like, how can I cook this to where I can eat it? Because I love ribs.
Yes.
And it was our ribs.
Yeah.
You know, you only get a couple per pig. So
Right.
once they're gone, they're gone. Well, I put it in the smoker. I smoked it for a couple hours, stayed away as much as I could, and then I pulled it out, wrapped it, stuck it in the oven, and basically did the Texas cheat.
Yeah.
And they were marvelous. So
good.
we tried that today with this brisket, and we're gonna see if this brisket is delectable like the ribs were the other day. If this brisket is delicious, then I have now found a new method for eating delicious smoked food that doesn't make me nauseous.
Mine is gonna be purple.
Or hot. Really hot.
Maybe you should have waited to test the
away.
potato.
Ooh.
Oh, that smells good.
Yeah.
So I haven't done a brisket since Thanksgiving of 22, I think, and it was terrible. I overcooked it. It was dry. It was terrible. So I hope this is good.
Ooh, that's a nice little smoke ring.
So far, so good.
Ooh, yeah, that's juicy.
It might be a little on the dry side.
I'll still eat it.
We'll
It's fine.
see. All right, lady.
Ooh, I get to eat it? Oh. Oh, that's amazing. It is not dry. That is good.
That was the boot. This is the fold. Look at that juice coming out.
Oh yeah. That's
Okay,
good.
I'm happy. Taste this. It's got a lot of fat on it, but taste it. It melts in your mouth.
Biscuit is the best cow I've ever had.
That sounds weird.
The steer that we butchered is the best cow we've ever had. That is amazing. Oh yes.
Still juicy. I will say, Nate, if you're watching, this is how my brisket used to be. I'm sorry for feeding you dry brisket.
It happens. We owe you one. All right, can we eat now?
We can eat.
Yay, let's do it.
Dad, Mama.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for this meal that you provided us. Ooh, thunder. Verdict from the room. Delicious.
Amazing.
Does this redeem my last attempt at a brisket?
Very much so, yes.
That was like over 2 years ago.
It was a while, yeah.
And I have had shame ever since. Like, you know, it took a long time to learn how to smoke meat, and then I sold my smoker, and like I just haven't had a good setup for smoking meat.
Yeah.
Finally I have a smoker, and it's like I've lost the ability to do it. And now I'm doing this cheat method,
Back
and
in, yeah. That's so good.
oh, so good.
Like so good.
Like the fatty bits melt in your mouth.
Yeah, they're tasty.
So good.
And the whole thing just like the whole thing melts in your mouth.
Oh, as she said, she stops in the middle of eating and looks up and goes, "I'm cutting this with my fork."
Yes. So good.
Glad this was a success. If it wasn't, you probably wouldn't see it.
So the fact that you're seeing it means
Yes,
it's good.
means it was good. That's going to do it for this video. Hopefully we will be back in our full capacity, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Bye.
And these potatoes are delicious.